Media Services abatusako kusimbula Midwestern Uganda Festival. Abantu bamasindi kiryadongo muliza hoima seta kagadi chimale kulwa kutaduka mukago mweso gokutano tukulata nechitabanga wo tusimula Midwestern Uganda Festival Season 1 andi tusuluda bayimbe bakabe kuve Kampala na mu Midwestern Uganda tosuba kacho performances pakazo kusina changu twetale nga mutugenda ko mu bouncing castle bogenda ko kusakasi bokira ko face painting swimming pool sabana bato band photo shoot comedy yana boko muzika gutasirika banenge bonyumirwa abayimbi yona nango bireba ku stage nya utosuba vinja jingo katanika mutandisi ngayimbira film live ku stage tusembula Midwestern Uganda Festival kulibera onemizanyonga okwepena volleyball omupira omweso amatatu yemizanyo emirala mingi era kodwo kulibera n'empaka ba DJ ku stage yabwe okuli DJ Wine DJ Nadikatse DJ Mute DJ Daka DJ Tino luna ona ulira emiryango chugula sababide zo kumacha mpaka kumacha kuyingira emitwalo biri mu VIP ngani meza ya mitwalo 15 katigwa tata mama koja senga n'abana mwena mukerako janguira bire ku Saudi abatwangala du nebitala myamya kati jangoberewo ngatu celebrating Midwestern Uganda byona byakubera ku Masindi Stadium okubukinga tikiti bokumanya bisinga wo kuba kuzimu 775 abiri atanu mu mwenda ana mu biri tusimbula Midwestern Uganda Festival Season 1 ewagidwa Kabalega Resort Uganda Red Cross Yojo Yogate Kings FM Ubuntu
Radio 7 Pepsi for the love of it.
Bell Lager and taste the quality.
Media Services.
Well, a very good afternoon. Welcome to the chat spot. My name is Elijah Kelvin Murungi. And once again, this is our next day, and we are very happy to be with you, and we are very happy that you're keeping it live on LK Media Services. So this show has been powered by Tusimbule Midwestern Uganda Festival Season 1 that is going to be happening on the 6th of next month, that is 6th May 2022. So we shall be in Masindi Stadium, and this is going to be the biggest celebration of Midwestern Uganda content, the culture, the heritage, and the likes. So be nowhere else. On the 6th of May 2022, we are going to be in Masindi Stadium. So we're going to have quite a number of activities that you've been seeing on social media, the likes of circus, the likes of face painting, cultural performances, artists' performances, both the gospel and the secular artists. We're going to have a bouncing castle for the kids. We're going to have the swimming pools for the kids. We're going to have games, Okwepena, Ludo, the board games, and the like. So we are actually urging each and everyone that is watching this show out there to come and celebrate Midwestern Uganda with us. So to me, today is the chat spot, and we're going to be having yet another discussion, another conversation about social lives, because on the chat spot, basically we are looking at unlocking social realities. And joined by me today, I have two beautiful ladies. I'm sure you've interacted with most of them before, but maybe for the case of introduction, the one that is seated right next to me is called Judith Komugisa. Judith Komugisa, who is a healthy worker that works with a healthy center too, that is in Masindi. And then also joined by me, there is another big lady who is called Annette Birungi. She is a sexual reproductive health and rights worker, or you can call her a SRHR worker. So today we're going to be discussing yet another patent topic, which is family planning and contraceptives, or contraceptives and family planning. But maybe as we proceed, let me give them an opportunity for them to be able to introduce themselves so that you can get to know more about them. So let me start with Judith. Yeah, so Judith, you're welcome on the chat spot. Yes, we are live on LK Media, and maybe you can do an introduction for our viewers that are watching us live on LK Media. All right, maybe for the case of the people that are watching you, they could say maybe you're married or you are whatever. Oh, you're married. Okay, so the people that are watching us on the chat spot, Judith is married. Maybe, let me, here. So it was off. So you're going to do another introduction. Yes, again.
Kiomgisa Judith, a nurse working with Masin District Local Government, married.
Okay. So you've re-emphasized that. So maybe you can push the microphone right to that lady. Yes, Annette.
Good evening, our viewers. Welcome once again to LKM Media Platform. My name is Annette Birungi. I'm a social worker, I'm an activist, and I am sexual and reproductive health rights worker.
Yes, maybe Annette, before you push back the microphone, I'm so much very interested on the idea of activists. You see, when we hear the word activist, in most cases we've seen what is happening to the activists, more especially in a country like Uganda. Let us pick the conversation from there. How about activism? Let us know what kind of activism you do.
Thank you so much. My activism is in women's and girls' rights. I want to ensure that women and girls live in an equal world without violence, without injustices, and without discrimination in any way.
All right. Thank you so much. And now for our viewers that are watching us live on LK Media, once again, we want to say thank you for keeping it live on LK Media. And just to notify you that we have quite a number of shows, and you can always catch us at 4 p.m. for all the shows that is on the chat spot on LKM Conversations, and then on Sunday, or you can catch us on the platform. But maybe just to give you a hint of the show that is happening this Sunday, we're going to be looking at the controversial coffee deal and what is the untold story. So, been nowhere else, get to know what is happening with our coffee in Uganda, the agreements that we sign. You can keep those conversations or those ideas flowing using our hashtag, that is the chat spot, and also using our hashtag, which is the platform. So today, as I've already introduced to you our guests that we are going to be discussing with, we're going to be looking at contraceptives and family planning. So we've seen that earlier in the lockdown, that is from 2020, we've had a very big challenge as a country, right from when we've had a lot of teenage pregnancies, a lot of, in fact, it is on record that most of the people have really gotten pregnant during the lockdown. I'm not trying to say that pregnancy is a bad thing, no, but I'm just trying to show you that the numbers have really raised to an extent that most of the women have made it a business to produce. Again, I'm joking. And then, yes, and then we've also had a very big challenge. Yeah, that most of the young people, more especially the youth, because at the country, we have over 70% of the young people of the population being the young people or being the youth. And when we do not educate them or we do not show them the importance of family planning, the dangers of using the contraceptives and the likes, we find we have a very big challenge, and it could lead us to losing a generation that could have an impact on society or on the country as a whole. So today, joined by me, I have a healthy worker, and I also have a sexual reproductive health and rights worker. So they're going to be discussing with us exactly what I have explained to you. But maybe starting with Annette, that has the microphone right over there. Let us pick from the conversation from marriage. Yes, because I understand this is a disclaimer that lady that you see right there is a married lady. And so definitely she is not searching, or she's not in a search of a partner. But with experience, Annette, we have seen quite a number of young people that are really engaging in the use of contraceptives. Let us understand, what are the contraceptives themselves?
Thank you so much, moderator.
Okay.
I think my expert here will correct me later. To me, the way I understand a contraceptive,
Okay.
is to me it is like a technical word. They call those different methods we use to control birth. Yes. Yeah,
So in other words, it's more of a control measure. Yes, to control the getting of.
Yes, to control reproduction and particularly birth.
Okay, so Annette, we've had quite a number of issues to do with contraceptives or the usage of family planning. And then maybe even before I get to that question, you've talked about the contraceptives. How about family planning? Basically, how are people supposed to understand family planning? Because someone that is watching us could think that it is maybe planning for a family. You know, everyone thinks differently. Now, let us get to the technical bit of it. What is family planning itself?
To me, family planning, when you put it, we grew up knowing it is family planning. That is the traditional way of calling use of contraceptives as family planning. But to me, family planning is a way of, the way you hear the word planning. You plan how to start a family, when and how to have children, by who, what time. And also the same to plan the number of children, like you plan to ensure that the number of children you are going to have, you can really take care of them, whereby providing them the basic needs. That's how I understand family planning. So most of us who grew up hearing the words family planning, and I know our fellow viewers there, when you mention a contraceptive, somebody quickly understands that is a family planning.
Okay.
So to me, I will call it maybe family planning. And then when you bring in the term of contraceptives, then it is family planning methods. It would be maybe birth control methods. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Annette. Let me get to this beautiful lady that is Judith. So Judith, we've had a lot of myth. We've had a lot of feedback and also stigma around family planning and then the usage of the contraceptives. Let us pick the conversation from there with you. How about the stigma? What are the types of family planning that are really available for the people to use, you understand, or for the young people to use? What are those types? And then what is really bringing up that kind of stigma?
We have very many types of family planning. There are short-term, there are long-term. And there are short-term and long-term methods. Depends on who and when and why we should use those methods. So the short-term, we have pills, which may be taken every day or may be taken after having unprotected sex. We have condoms, which people use when they're having sex, there and then. We have injectables, which go for 3 months. We have I think those are the ones for
the types.
The short term.
Yeah.
Then the long terms, we have the intrauterine devices. We have the implants. And there are also permanent methods like tubal ligations for women. So the ones which are right for teenagers, you ask the ones right for the teenagers. We emphasize teenagers to always to use condoms because they are.
Okay, because they are easier to use.
To get.
Yeah, and in terms of cost effective,
cost effective.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
And the next thing, they protect. They have dual protection, both sexual transmitted diseases and pregnancy. We also encourage them to use emergencies because sometimes family planning methods, when used for a long time, these are young kids who haven't got even kids. We don't encourage them to use long-term methods. Sometimes if these methods, if used for long, they can cause some infertility. So not long time infertility. Fertility sometimes can be short term or long term. It can be if they
okay, Judith. Maybe for some reasons there are some words that you may think that are not proper to do mention here, but here it is a platform for us to learn, especially for the people that are watching us live on our media.
Okay.
But of course you can keep on engaging with those words. So our viewers that are watching us live on our media and those that are just joining us, this is the chat spot and we're discussing about contraceptives and family planning. So we're trying to look at the question of what are the different types of family planning and why do we actually have stigma around the usage of contraceptives and family planning. So, Annette, I know Judith, you did mention that there are those different types of family planning, the long term and also the short terms. So I'm getting to the question of who is supposed to use what kinds of methods and when is it right? Who is supposed to use what kinds of family planning methods?
These short-term methods are right for people who have not yet had kids. Because if someone who has not yet had kids goes for a long-term method,
they may end up not bearing a child. They bear.
But it can cause infertility. For a short term, meaning if someone can want a kid and fail to have at that particular time, but with time, if that person waits, these contraceptives are medications. They can with time go out of the body.
Okay.
Yes.
So if someone is looking at, maybe let me give an example. You did talk about this the thing that they put in the body.
Yes, the implants.
The implant. Yes, the implants. So for example, if someone happens to put the implant in the body, what amount of time do they have to wait for them to conclude that they are either infertile or they are now fertile and they are ready to have a child?
Within a range of 6 months to 1 year.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
After removal.
After removal.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So maybe let me
they're put for 3 years. The implant has been put for 3 years. And that period is over. You remove.
Okay.
So you have to wait for pregnancy within 6 months to 1 year.
Okay.
Yes. But you might be there. You want the pregnancy there and then. It may not happen.
Okay.
It may not happen. IUD is immediate because it has no hormones in it. It is free. It is just a device. Yes, it is just a device. It has no hormones, has no medication in it. It is just a device which is put on the fallopian tubes.
Okay.
To prevent the sperms from
flowing.
From the flow of sperms. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Judith. I'll be able to get back to you. Let me get to Annette shortly. So Annette, we've realized that in most cases, when it goes to family planning methods or using the family planning methods that Judith has explained and elaborated more about, we find that in most cases it is a one-sided thing. You understand? So, and in most cases, it is actually the women that are really taking more part. That is the bitter truth, because you realize that it is the woman to take in the pill, it is the woman to take in the IUD, like Aisha said, it is the woman to take in the implant and all that. So, what is the role of the men in family planning or the use of contraceptives?
Thank you so much. It is true that most contraceptives were designed for women, apart from condom. So, why? Of course, women, they take the lead because they were designed for them, and they are the ones who use them. And also, there is another reason why you find that it is one-sided, why women are always, they are the ones to take the lead to access the contraceptives. You find that when a family gets a child, when they are both not ready, the partner, both ready, the husband and the wife, you find that the blame is put on a woman, that it is your mistake or you didn't control yourself. So that's why women, in most cases, they take the lead.
But yes, but they take the lead. And maybe, is it now, do you see as a woman or as women, do you find that a negative thing, or you find it is very, very okay? It is both negative and positive. At first, you asked what would be the role of what? Of the men.
Of the men. First of all, these contraceptives have, as Nurse Judith said, they have side effects. How would men come in? There is another type of contraceptive men can use, condom. They can come in, they can use condom. Then also how they can also support.
But you see, to be also more practical, I do not see how I'm married and then I have to use a condom. Like unless I'm not so sure about the woman, then I can be able to say that, hey, let me use a condom. But I'm married, so I'm thinking that most of the men actually do ignore the part of to use. Yes.
I agree with you, because also I don't find a reason. I'm married and I'm using a condom.
For what? For who?
Like condom.
Yeah.
No one likes them. Condoms, they are not meant for married people unless there is
an issue.
Maybe issue of infidelity, maybe untrustworthy. So how do men come in? Men, they need to support their wives morally, and also to support them to access these contraceptives, the information.
Okay.
Like for example, you may find that, of course, most women who are housewives, they may not have time to have some information on contraceptives, but our men who move, who go outside and work, they can take time to go to the health center, past the clinic, and ask, what contraceptive can work for my wife, or discuss it together with the wife. What contraceptive can work for us? Because there are some contraceptives. Why would men actually be present in this thing? Because sometimes these contraceptives have had that some of them, depending on the hormones or of the genes of certain person, they can cause excess weight. And other side effects. And particularly men, of course, who want mid-sized women, they will complain that, my wife has become fat. My wife has become fat. If we were present in the period when your wife was choosing the contraceptive, you would have helped her not choose the contraceptive that is hormonal, that is, or maybe you would have studied it together to see that it does what? That it works for both of you. And also, why men should be present. Another thing is that some contraceptives, they may make people, you fall sick, you do what. So if your man is not aware that my wife is on contraceptive and she's going for treatment, it will bring out an issue of an issue of faithfulness.
At that point, Annette, what is the attitude? Basically, the attitude of the married men. Yeah, more special. Okay, the attitude of the married men in using these contraceptives. You did mention that in most cases, women actually get worried that they will become fat. Others think they will become small. How true is that? And also, what is the attitude of the men towards that kind of the new changes on a woman?
I don't know about men because
you're not a man.
I cannot give the general feedback all over.
Yeah, but of course, in most cases, because you are a sexual reproductive and health rights worker, so in most cases, maybe you've interacted with most of these men who give you the experiences, and they be like me. I wouldn't want my woman to use contraceptives because at the end of the day, they are going to grow fat. Yeah, and others will say they were going to grow thin. So what is that attitude?
So most of the attitude or the statements I've had from men, actually they stop their women from using contraceptives.
Okay.
Now these are men, of course they know if you don't use contraceptives, there will be an unwanted pregnancy. Even by the married women, there is married people, there is an unwanted pregnancy. So they are aware there is an unwanted pregnancy.
Oh.
So you find that
I didn't know there is unwanted pregnancy in married people.
So women, men, what they have for men, they say, I don't want my wife to go for a contraceptive because of this and this. And then some men also, they take their own measure to use traditional methods of controlling the birth, which also sometimes fail. And when they conceive, then that's what I said earlier, that when women conceive, they put it on women that you didn't calculate your days properly, you don't know your fertility days, that blah blah. But then there are some men who, of course, there is a low usage of condoms in married men, but also there are some married men who support their wives. I don't know how to say it. They support them in morally and other ways of seeing how they control the birth, the conception.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Annette.
These are very technical.
So let me get a little bit to Judith. So Judith, Annette did mention at some point that men are actually put the blame on the women when they get the unwanted pregnancy. So that is something that I found new, because I didn't actually think that even married people can have unwanted pregnancy. I mean, they have the right to say now, we want it or we do not want it. Unlike these other people, boyfriend, girlfriend, at the end of the day, they abort. So now, starting from there, she talked about the safe days.
True.
How true is it or how reliable are these safe days? Is it something that is really very realistic that young people can actually embrace, more especially for those that will want to avoid the contraceptives or the family planning methods?
The issue of safe days is real.
It is real.
But it depends on the cycle. That's why I can't emphasize on anyone to depend on
safe days.
Safe days.
So in other words, it is not reliable.
Different people, different cycles. Someone with a shorter cycle cannot. Someone with a longer cycle cannot.
Let's start from the shorter cycle. What is the shorter cycle?
Shorter cycle, less than 25 days.
Okay.
Longer cycle, above 30 days.
So are you trying to say, yes, from what you're saying, that a person who actually has a cycle for 25 days cannot be able to rely
can rely on them?
The one that has less than 25?
Less than 25 cannot. Some other people have as less as 19 days, 1 days. Depends on someone's fertility.
Okay.
Yes.
So in other words, if someone is looking, okay, let us get to how are even the days calculated. I mean, how? Because you see, we might have young people that are actually watching the show, and in the end, they'll really need to get that kind of help. How do they calculate the safe days? Or maybe even for a man like me, yeah, of course, I would really love to know how do I even help maybe my partner to be able to calculate those days. Yeah.
You calculate 9 days,
Okay.
9 days from the date of menstruation. First day up to 9
days. Yeah.
Those are not. Those are safe days.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
I know you can't go with a woman when that person is in menstruation.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the women have 4 days of menstruation, but you count from that first day.
When they have stopped.
When you have started. The moment you see blood. Day 1 to 9 days.
It is safe.
It is safe.
Okay.
Then you count 12 days. From the 9 days, you leave the 9 days and then count the 12 days. Those are dangerous days. After the 12 days, those are safe days.
Okay.
Yes. Then you wait for blood for the periods to start again.
Wait. You want to tell me that we only have 4 days? I mean, okay, like I'm giving an example that maybe someone is using, someone has periods that go for about 3 days.
Yes.
So after they have about 6 days, safe days, you understand?
Yes.
Then after you count again 12 for you to have another safe day.
Those ones you go protected.
No,
12 days you have to go protected.
Yes, then after the 12,
yeah,
9 plus 12, that is 21.
That's why I was telling you, those people
have 25. I was trying to calculate that to see where the 25 fall. Okay, so there is also this myth that in most cases, like the women that really have cramps, that get that stomach pain, that do this and the other, that I don't know how true that is, but most of the people will tell you that those people can actually engage in sex for them to be able to reduce the pain of the cramps. How true is that?
It's not true.
It is not true technically.
Yes, that thing can even increase if you start having sex when you're in periods.
No, for the case of the cramps, I mean.
For auntie, it can increase. Sometimes it is infection that is causing that pain.
Okay.
And again, you are going for unprotected sex. How sure are you?
All right.
It may increase the pain.
All right. Thank you so much.
Infection.
Thank you so much, Judith, for that clarification. Our viewers that are watching us live on Elke Media, thank you so much for keeping it Elke Media. This is the chat spot, and we are discussing family planning and contraceptives. For the young people that are out there, please, this knowledge or these ideas are for you, and also those that are actually married and they didn't know the bit of family planning or the usage of contraceptives. Yes, Annette, most of the men today will tell you they even do not have any idea of how to use a condom, which is very true. So this show is proudly sponsored by Devaney Hotel. We are live at Devaney Hotel, so you can reach out to them for conference facilities, the gardens, the meals, accommodation, the bar services, outside catering services, and the likes. All the hotel services are available at Devaney Hotel. So they are located at Main Street, Masindi, that is, or you can call it Hoima Road, Masindi Hoima Road, opposite RDC's office, next to Posta, Uganda, or opposite MTN Service Center. So then back to you, Judith. You see, most of these things, some of us are actually getting to learn from this show. Yes. So let's get a little bit to the issue of abortion, but maybe let me first get to Annette a little bit. Yes, Annette. Let us get a little bit to the issue of abortion. You see, most of the young people would really instead go for abortion than them maybe going using the control methods. I mean, someone cannot stand using a condom. They would rather say, no, I would rather get pregnant, I will abort. But I feel they have these claims that condoms ban, they make them uncomfortable. I don't know how true that really is. So let us pick it from there. Abortion and family planning, could it be a necessary control method?
Actually, Elijah,
Is abortion actually an option?
is still illegal in Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah, unless
let's forget about illegality, because this is something that is happening practically.
Yes,
you understand?
We
are not saying that we are promoting abortion. No, we are only trying to show you that it is happening, but we want to see, is it an option or is it a control method to adopt to?
Thank you so much. To me, okay, as an advocate, abortion, a young person may adopt for an abortion.
Okay.
Unless is advised medically that because maybe considering being young age, these days are here, there is these cases of fistula. Like when you give birth beyond, below 18, you are still young. There is tearing this between of the vagina and the anus and whatever. She knows better. Analyst is advised medically that you carry out an abortion. Of course, it can be used as a way of controlling the birth. But to me, if a young person, if a girl child gets pregnant when it is unwanted, it takes only 9 months to produce. To me, it would be a best way.
Only. Okay.
Yes, you can carry out abortion when it is medically advised, and also you access it in a good medical facility who can carry out that safe abortion. There have been issues with young people carrying out abortions using traditional methods, and then it is spoiled. Like there's the way the side effects are very bad. You can even end up not giving birth. But to me, if I just combine the Christianity, the medical part of it, and to me, I would not advise an abortion.
You wouldn't advise an abortion. So actually, it wouldn't be an option on your list. Let me get to Judith. Yeah, you see now, this is getting now to the technical bit of it. You've seen, I'm pretty sure that you've handled quite a number of young people that would really opt to go for the abortion. Let's talk about the safe abortion. Is it something that is an option? Is it another control method that
abortion
people can really adopt?
Control method. You have already taken up the pregnancy. That is not a control method.
Maybe it is a control method for giving birth.
That is termination. You have terminated birth. You have terminated life. You have gotten pregnant, but you have terminated life. It is not a control anywhere.
Okay.
And abortion has very many side effects. I wouldn't even talk about it as I wouldn't give it an option. I wouldn't tell someone to get it as an option.
Okay, let's look at which abortion has the side effects that you do not want even to talk about. Is it the abortion? You see, what's abortion itself? Can we count 1 week as abortion? Like, for example, someone realized they are 1 week pregnant.
Yes.
That's abortion still?
It is still abortion.
Okay, so let's talk about when is it right to abort and not to abort?
It is never right. Maybe if it is medical, I can tell you it is medical. Sometimes the pregnancy itself has gone somewhere wrong, like in the fallopian tubes. There it is okay. You can abort. Sometimes someone is young. You look at the person can't carry the pregnancy to term. That one is okay. It is okay.
Exactly. So could you please also okay it at the other point in time, like in timing? I mean, someone is very fine. They are not even young. They don't even have issues to do with the fallopian tube, as you said. They are just not interested in the baby. Now,
where the problem comes in is these people will not disclose.
Which people?
These people who are pregnant and want to terminate. They will not go to the right people to terminate that pregnancy.
But of course, when they come to you, you do chase them away.
No. If it is
because you say it's illegal. Okay.
But if it is not medical, I can't help because I'm even risking my life. They can take me to police.
To prison.
Yeah. So I was still telling you, if these people don't go on for self-medication.
Okay.
They're even so wise. They know each and every medication that can terminate the pregnancy, but they don't know how to use and when. And it ends up bringing problems. So that's why I tell them shouldn't be an option. Let them go for any other family planning
method now,
because the effects are reversible.
Okay, no, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Judith. Yes. But I'm actually seeing that you're trying to run away from my question, and I'm not resting my case until that question is really answered. We need to understand, or our viewers need to understand, that after this period of time, it is not safe at all. Yes, it is never safe, but at least to a smaller extent, it is really safe. Yeah. After what period of time can you say that, hey, nah, don't go for this? Risk. Yeah.
After 3 months, don't risk.
Okay.
You can risk and go. Maybe if you have qualified people who are going to help you, even at 1 week, you have to have someone who has knowledge on that thing.
I've heard young people who take kajani. They mix a lot of tea leaves, tea bags. You find them taking conk that they claim they are going to abort.
No, that one can't work. Abortion can be done at any time. Even at 9 months, you can terminate. Yes.
Okay.
But it depends. Sometimes people terminate pregnancy even at term. They say, I will not carry the baby back home. Pushes the baby, kills it on the way. Yes.
That is also abortion.
The baby has died. You have not allowed the baby to carry the baby.
Okay.
You have given birth properly. You have killed it in your legs. Yes. You have squeezed. So abortion is okay for as long as you have the right person.
The right person.
But I wouldn't tell someone to go for abortion, and yet there are other
methods
can control
pregnancy. Okay. Let's leave a little bit the point of abortion. So you did mention about some of the family planning methods that can really be adopted by the people, both the young people and then other people, the long term and maybe the short term. You also did mention there also could be side effects of those family planning methods. Let's talk about those side effects. Do we have serious, numerous side effects that really can affect someone to be... Okay, let's talk about the side effects. What are some of those and how do they come about?
Side effects. There are very many. Now, someone can go for family, and mostly these long-term ones, the implants and the one for 3 months are the one I've experienced people coming, complaining. They get bleeding, headache, and some even complain that they are dry during sex. Yes. Weight gain, weight loss, loss of appetite. They even, some women lose appetite for their husbands. Yes. Those are the fake, I can tell you now.
Okay, appetite getting dry. Okay, fine. Let me just cross over to Annette. Annette, I've heard about the issue of getting dry and then also losing appetite. Yes, losing appetite. Using the sexual libido, they are no longer interested.
That's why husbands have to be present, because they have to be aware of these side effects, so that they don't harass their wives. That no, these days you no longer perform your duties. But when they are aware of what the wife is going through and what kind of method, I think they are understanding, and they support each other to ensure that those complaints are solved.
Okay, as we are getting to wind up with this show, thank you so much that the people that have kept it live on Elkem Media. the conversation is quite interesting because we are getting to learn and also be able to unlearn. Talk about the boosting. Let's talk about the boosting. Is there any ways? I don't know if I'm asking you the right question. Is there any way that people can rejuvenate that glory? Yeah, that yes, that in the end you're going to be able to gain the libido. As she did mention that you may lose it, or maybe at some point you're going to gain the fertility. I don't know how they measure fertility and the likes. Let's talk about those.
Thank you so much. I think to me certain side effects would be sort of or prevented if these health workers tell us the right thing. There is some information they hide from us.
Okay.
She will correct when we go for these family planning. For example, me Annette, if I go to a health worker, to a health center to access contraception, maybe my friend has worked for her. I say, no, I want implant because my friend worked for her. So I will go in mind that I want implant. So the health worker may not take time to explain to me how does implant work, to test like my hormones, my body, to know how it works, and also to highlight for me some side effects and how to prevent them. So to me, if they are so much open to us, these side effects would be prevented, and they would be not so much. So you asked me that are there some way of of doing rejuvenating the glory? I think that's where now our husbands need to come in. Because of course already we have something in our body, we have something external in our body that is disturbing our normal flow of the blood, the hormones and everything. So if you add on maybe the other issues of the marriage, maybe the husband, maybe is not also romantic enough, for sure sex will disappear completely. Will become nonsense. So maybe other ways is maybe to improve, to change the diet, to change the way of doing things, to change the diet, and also
to come up with new tips. To come up with the new tips, to come up with the. Of course, me as Annette, I'm on a contraception, which I'm not going to reveal. But those issues, it has not affected me so much because I got enough information from the health worker, and that guy, I had many questions, maybe because I knew what was coming after, and he took his time to explain to me what would come and how would overcome it and how would I handle it. So I think I would advocate for health workers to always have time for these people who access contraceptive to explain to them, and so that these things in sex, libido, they are prevented and can be handled. But there are so many ways you can rejuvenate the sex. I'm sure there is no couple which can take more than 30 days without sex. Add 6 days of menstruation, then the other days. So you have to do something. Okay, I can't wait to get married. I'm only keeping myself for the right. Yes, Madam Right, the right person who will actually, in Runyoro we have, in quotes, it is called the goat. Who will take away my goat? Yes. All right, let me get to Judith as we get to conclude this show. So we've already seen the changes that, we've already seen the effects, the side effects, the long-term and maybe the short-term, which have included all those that you did mention. Let me get a little bit to some of the changes that could happen to someone's body. What should people really expect as they go in for family planning? What is that thing that should not take them by surprise?
It's like any other plan. Someone can take Panadol and feel bad. I take Panadol and feel okay. It's just that is family planning.
Okay.
I can use it and I get no side effects. And it uses it, gets side effects. So anyway, I can't say that someone should be expecting Anyone will have his or her own side effect, or may not even have. But what they have, and what
Go
they
away
can
and
go
you
and
normalize.
normalize.
I'm really thinking. Okay, let me ask: Is appeal an option of family planning?
It is an option
Controlling.
of family planning,
So, for
and
example,
an option
an
for
emergency pill.
an emergency pill.
Yeah.
There are two pills. There
Mm.
is an emergency pill, and there's also that pill. People always call it pill plan. It is a family planning method, and even an effect control method. Someone who has got bleeding because of family planning uses that pill to control bleeding, but can even use it as family planning. You get the issue?
I get it.
That is the cheapest.
Okay, I think we need to. I think this conversation is going
When
to.
you have got side effect of family planning, for instance, you got an injection and you are bleeding, you can use a pill to stop the bleeding. But you can even use a pill as a family planning method.
That same pill.
That's
The emergency pill, you mean?
no, the
Okay.
emergency pill. There are it is called pill plan. It is
Oh, okay. It's
in
another.
medical it is combined
Mm.
oral contraceptive.
Okay. So let me get a little bit to the issue of the pills, because using pills has actually become a new normal. You've seen very many kids at campus. Honestly, they would rather go live, but they are very sure that, hey, after I'm going to use a pill, I'm going to take an emergency pill. So what are, do we have any dangers that can really be picked from the usage of those emergency pills? And then he also did mention that those side effects can actually do not take like forever. So after a period of time, they can actually go. Does it mean that someone can take the pills for as much as they can want, even if they want to take it in tea, tomorrow in water?
It's fine. The side effects varies. I can get it, I cannot get. But for as long as you know you have gone for a live sex and you don't want pregnancy, an emergency pill is okay. It has minimal side effects.
Okay.
Yes, you can't feel the nausea, you can't vomit. It is not like the other pill I'm telling you that controls side effects. How long? It is within 72
Hours. Oh, 72 hours. That is
from
very.
a live sex.
Okay.
From live sex. Yes, it is Postina.
Is there a one
Postina
before?
is a brand name.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, is there a one that is before? I mean, someone can be confident enough and they be like, okay, let me take this pill.
But it
And
is okay even if they gave it 72 hours from live sex. Those are 3 days. You can take today or tomorrow on the last day.
no,
You
I
only
mean,
take one.
I mean before the unprotected sex.
No, I'm not a part of
Okay. So as we get to conclude the show now, do men have family planning methods they can be able to use when their women are not actually using them? Someone was actually saying that they should get to sell condoms and they start to give pads for free.
They sell a condom and give pads.
Yeah, like government gives out condoms, yeah, free condoms, you understand, and then pads. We've never seen a free pad. So can the reverse is the reverse an option?
It is not genuine. Do you know what condom sells? It sells pregnancy, it sells HIV. And there are alternatives for pads. They can buy gold, you can use clothing, you can use anything. But once a person gets HIV,
How do you even?
want to get out of that?
I think I'm going to raise that kind of. I think we should have that kind of conversation. Pads versus the condoms, yes. Because honestly, very many people think that maybe the government doesn't want the men, I mean the women, or they are trying to neglect the girl child. But I think they have not also seen the other side of the story, that what happens.
If people don't use condoms.
Yeah. Okay, so we were on the bit of the men using contraceptives. Do we have any, and what are those?
The ones for men, it is the condom and the one which is permanent. You use it once, you will not produce any.
The vasectomy.
The vasectomy.
But I heard that it can be
Vasectomy.
reversed.
Yeah, it doesn't reverse. It doesn't.
They see us.
They cut the
Sperm duct.
the spermatic cords where the sperm starts. So once cut, they will not be reversed. It can't be reversed.
Okay.
Can't be reversed.
But someone can actually engage in conjugal rights. Okay. All right.
This Karen would have answered some questions. You would have told us what the
You can use the microphone.
Sorry. I think this is unfair. Kevin, as a lady, would have maybe helped us to answer some questions on many methods of family planning. Maybe,
Yeah. Okay.
the drone method, how does it work? Doesn't it work?
Okay. In most cases, also maybe that should be a question to her or to you people, because you're the ones that have been withdrawn from. And honestly, it would be unfair for me to answer that question. But well, I would say this: if you put that question to me, I would say I would not rely on the withdrawal method, because what happens? Yeah, you know what I've had. I've had most of the people will feel like as if heaven is here, and at the end of they will forget. And they will forget, and you understand. So it could be an option, but I think someone needs to be extra careful. An expert, someone who doesn't have too much unnecessary libido. Yes, sexual libido. So as we conclude, maybe Annette, you can give us your last take for the show, so that we can get into other problems.
Thank you so much. What I would say, family planning and use of contraceptive, it is good when if you are married, it is good when both partners support each other out beyond the methods, and support each other in getting the information and how to use it. Then for my young people, as you go for family planning, just be aware that I am talking about the adolescents, maybe below 18 years. As you go for family planning, be aware that it has side effects, and also it doesn't control diseases like HIV. It doesn't control STIs. So don't go for contraceptive. Then you just neglect other STIs that can really harm your fertility. They can really harm your body. They can harm your uterus, and you may end up not having birth. So, and also lastly is that let us make family planning methods accessible for each one who comes to access them. Let us not discriminate, because some time back, Elijah, some young people say that when they go for family planning, the nurses chase them away. They think that they are prostitutes. There are some words they use that they are prostitutes, they are young. They are young. So these girls just go and now find ways of
Plan B.
Yeah, and then for the boyfriends, you have your girlfriend and don't want to wear condom. I don't know how you are going to look for money to buy Pampers when this girl gives birth. So be careful. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Annette. Let me get to Judith as we close the show. Maybe something that really skipped my understanding, and also maybe for our viewers for clarity. Is there, and apart from the male family planning method, which you said is cutting, yes, the sperm thing, the sperm bit of it, is there any family planning method that can really affect a woman to an extent that they're not going to give birth? Because in most cases, why someone would actually adopt, some of the reasons as to why people may say, I'm not going to use any family planning method. If the pregnancy has come, I will produce. And then that is how they are going to produce they are going to give us a generation which is really irrelevant for some reason. So, is there is it a myth or it is actually true that someone may go without a child even after using the family planning methods?
Some of the things are medical. You get someone has used the family planning, they are complaining, after using this family planning, I became infertile. But that person has never even given birth to any person. How sure are you that it was the family planning? It wasn't the medical.
Or maybe you're trying to defend your thing. You're trying to defend your thing like family planning is okay, or
family planning is okay. It can't give a permanent, right? A permanent infertility. Or else, if you have used, there is also a permanent method for family planning for
women.
Yes.
Which is
bilateral triple ligation, cutting the tumors. But that one is an option for people who have overproduced. Sometimes doctors opt for it for women, and they just give it to them and say, let us save this person. This person has overproduced.
Oh,
yes.
How do they know? I mean, they go to the same health center to produce?
Not going to the same health centers, but historically. You come, I ask you how many questions you have. Yes. You might be having like 15. Do I have to leave you get the 18s and the 20s?
No, I mean, if someone is right, why not?
It is someone's right, yes. But you even look at the condition of the kids.
No. You cannot reason for someone
not
who has,
reasoning, we seek consent.
You tell them this is an option.
We tell them this is an option. Because if using these temporary methods, someone can even mess up and tell you, I forgot to go for the injection. That's why I got this 18th pill. I forgot to take the pill. That's what happened. So we explained the method, this permanent thing to these people, and they opt for it.
So, in other words, in what you've said, there is no family planning method that can actually fail a woman from giving. So those that do not have children after family planning, they have underlying
conditions.
Yeah.
They had some other conditions which went untreated. Someone may get an STI. And it is very common. Someone comes, hey, since I got this injection from where I got a certain STI. And they are sitting, can't treat the STI.
Can it go alone?
They can it go alone. It can't go alone. It has affected the things inside. And you know these things which are suffering from inside, you can't see. Maybe it has affected, it has eaten it all, it has eaten everything, you can't tell. Now after the family planning, that person comes to have failed to conceive.
Okay, there is something now that is really beating my understanding. We're supposed to get done with the show here, but also, let me not leave this out. Women, most of the women will tell you that the STI will go by itself. No. Is that really true? What happens? Does it still eat them up?
It eats them up.
And does it make them feel any bad in the due course?
It may go and subside it may subside the signs and symptoms, and yet it is eating from inside. It eats all the tubes, eats up the uterus. It may not eat it all up. Maybe it blocks the tubes. You know, like gonorrhea. You have pus discharge. That pus starts in the tubes. You will not get treatment. So as it is healing, you get what? You get a scar, and the pregnancy will not come. You will start saying, since I got the family planning, yet it was the STI that caused the infertility.
So does it apply to the men as well?
It applies.
Okay. All right. So Annette, you wanted something to say, or we?
So you mean that these STIs are not treated? They will get used and they will disappear.
The body gets used to it. Comes, you feel the eating, you don't even treat it, it goes out. Next time it comes, you don't treat it, it subsides. And yet it is affecting inside.
Oh.
And at the end of it all, you will not get treatment. You look for a kid, you rain.
Okay, I hope men, for them, they do not look for the kids and then they fail to get the kids. Okay. No, it's women. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for this show. Thank you so much, Annette. Thank you so much, Judith, for coming for this show. And thank you so much, our viewers that have kept it live on our media, because when you have these kinds of conversations and then you have good reactions, that is what is keeping us moving. So once again, we've been powered by Tusimbule Midwestern Uganda Festival that is going to happen on the 6th of this month. Of next month. I don't know why I've liked this month so much. Of next month, that is 6th May, in Masindi Stadium, we're going to have the biggest celebration of Midwestern Uganda content. We shall have the artists from Midwestern Uganda and also the artists from around Kampala. We're going to have games. We're going to have comedy. We're going to have VJ Jingo, who is going to do for us Katandi Kabutandisi live on stage. So do not forget that also the Muslims that are in Ramadan, we are waiting for you, and you're actually the reason as to why we are even still pushing on with the festival. That said, I want to wish each and everyone a very good evening. Thank you for keeping it live on LK Media.
Services abatusako tusimbula Midwestern Uganda Festival. Abantu bamasindi kiryadongo buliza hoima seta kagadi chimale kulwa kutadunga mkago mweso gokutano tukulate nechitabanga wo tusimbula Midwestern Uganda Festival Season 1 andi tusubuluda abayimbi abakabye kuva Kampala ne mu Midwestern Uganda tosubakaje performances bakazo okusina jangu twetale nga mutugenda ko mu bouncing castle bogenda ko kusakasi bokirya ko face painting swimming pool zabana bato brass band photo shooting comedy yena boko muzika gutasirika banenge bonyumirwa abayimbi yona nango bire baku stage nya tosuba vinja jingo katandika butandisi ngayimbira film live ku stage tusembula Midwestern Uganda Festival tulibera onemisanyo nga okwepena volleyball omupira omweso amatatu emisanyo emirala mingi era kodwo tulibera n'empaka z'aba DJ ku stage yabwe okuli DJ Wine, DJ Nadikatse, DJ Mute, DJ Daka, DJ Tino luna onawulira emiryango kigulawo sababidezo kumacha mpaka kumacha tuyingire mutwalo emitwalo biri mu VIP nga ne meza ya mitwalo 15 katigwa tata mama koja senga n'abaana mwena mukerako janguye bire ku sound ya batwangala du n'ebitala myamyamya kati jagoberewo nga tu celebrating Midwestern Uganda byonna byakubirawo ku Masindi Stadium okubukinga tikiti bokumanya bisingawo kuba kusiru 775 259 tusimbula Midwestern Uganda Festival Season 1 ewagidwa Kabalega Resort Uganda Red Cross Yojo Yogate Kings FM Ubuntu
Radio 7 Pepsi, for the love of it.
Bell Lager, and taste the quality.
Elka Media Services.
Even when the boys